Hello and welcome to Coaching with Purpose. My name is Sam Sloan and I am the founder and director of 123 People Development. I'm also the creator of the Coaching with Purpose program. I thought today that we could talk around a little bit about the program just to give you some more insight in regards to what you can expect from the workshop. When I created the workshop, I had in my mind to share some of my best practice and some of my learnings that I had experienced through a 30-year career of either in retail or in the financial services corporate type backgrounds. And I really wanted to make it accessible for all, irrelevant of the stage of coaching that you are at, brand new to coaching, or whether you've been coaching for many years and you're a highly experienced practitioner. Well, part of the conversation today, I have one of my lovely colleagues here, Erica, who you can see on the video, and she's going to be interviewing me in regards to answering maybe some of your questions that you may have about the course, but also what makes the course so special.
Okay, Sam, so what do you cover in the programme?
Oh, goodness me, what do we cover in the programme? This was a real quandary for me when I was developing the workshop. I wanted to weave the 4 C's concept, which I'll explain in just a few moments, into the heart of the programme. And that looks at mental toughness, for instance, which again I'll explain in just a moment. But I also wanted to weave into the programme the ILM 72 measure as well, which is actually the integrated leadership psychometrics as well, which again I'll explain in just a little bit more detail in just a few moments. But we also do in the programme 2 coaching observations, one at the very beginning of the programme and one at the very end. So to demonstrate again distance travelled in regards to your skills. We also do things like the communication styles, the things to consider before you even start that coaching intervention with that particular individual or group, for instance. We do things like ego states, feedback, which again seems to be a bit of an understated skill sometimes, certainly in some of the findings that from my experience working in businesses previously. We look at the GROW model, we look at questioning techniques, we also look at listening as well, and we go into quite a lot of depth of that. We also explore things like limiting beliefs and blockers in regards to coaching as well. It's a really robust course.
Okay, Sam, so you mentioned the 4 C's. So why does coaching with the 4 C's have such an impact?
Oh, goodness me. The more I learn about the 4 C's, the more I really realise just what an impact it really does have, not only for the coach, but also for the coachee. It's a high quality psychometric measure that measures mental toughness, which actually describes the mindset that every person adopts in everything that they do. It's closely related to things like character, resilience and grit, etc. And sometimes as a coach, it's a little bit hard to get under the surface initially when you first start to build that relationship up with that coachee, or maybe if they're not particularly familiar with you, maybe in a team, for instance, that you're working with. And what it helps you do as a coach is to dig a little bit deeper and find out maybe the real issue as to what's going on with that individual, or sometimes just the why and what it is that's going on for them personally. So when using the 4 C's, it kind of gives you a heads up approach, or that insight to focus that specific attention on an area of mutual interest. And this, of course, allows that coach to ask powerful, pointed questions using the report, the coaching report that's supplied once you have completed the questionnaire, that will ultimately help you allow that coachee to open up and self-reflect and have self-awareness around whatever it is that their development issues are, or their development journey is going to be for that particular person.
Okay, Sam, so why should people choose the EMCC as the coaching body for their foundation award?
That's a really good question, Erica. It's a question that I get asked quite a lot of the time. Why choose the EMCC over the other bodies that, of course, are available? I find that the EMCC Global, as a leading professional body for mentoring, coaching and supervision, It's active in more than 140 countries across the world. It purely exists to develop and promote and, of course, set the expectations for best practice in mentoring, coaching, and supervision as well. In summary, it's the gold standard for coaching and mentoring. And with 8 robust competencies that actually are woven all of the way through the workshop, it ensures professional standards and, of course, professional development is demonstrated throughout the programme.
Okay, Sam, so why become an accredited coach?
Oh, that's another really good question. Again, this is another question that I get asked an awful lot. I've spent the vast majority of my career not accredited as a coach. However, what I am now finding, now that I am an accredited coach, the difference that it's actually beginning to make for currency, for instance, being up to date with resources and the network, certainly in regards to the EMCC, that everything that comes along with the membership, etc. And that currency and credibility, like I've just mentioned there. But I also think it provides that rubber stamp of quality. And of course, it reassures the coachee that the right standards are actually being met and that they are actually in safe hands.
Okay, Sam, so what skills would I learn on this programme?
We look at many skills on the programme. One of the main ones, though, that we focus our attention on is communication skills. Very understated, if I'm being perfectly honest, and certainly in regards to my coaching journey and my career journey. Coaching was always the coaching, questioning, listening, all of those types of things was almost kind of pushed a little bit to one side until people are really started to sort of realise the impact that they actually had. So one of the things that we actually really focus our attention on is questioning. And of course, off the back of that, of course, then listening as well. But the questioning, I tend to find a lot of people ask double questions, loaded questions, closed questions, and it tends to then keep the conversation on the coachees or the coach themselves on their agenda. We want to be on the coachee's agenda. We want to allow the coachee and encourage the coachee to open up, to self-reflect, and to have more self-awareness, of course. And to do that, of course, you need listening skills as well. So we really challenge and disturb thinking in the workshop around some of these basic skills. We also look at ego states as well. Where are we coming from when we're asking the questions? What's our style like? And we do tend to find some very interesting findings sometimes as well. So we really like to disturb that thinking, like I've just said, because what we're ultimately trying to do here with these, what sound like very basic skills, is actually encouraging the coachee to self-reflect, to have more self-awareness, and of course to gain that clarity so they can actually take more responsibility and increase their own awareness.
So, Sam, what about people who've been coaching for years? What will they get from the programme?
That's another really, really great question. Again, this is something that I get asked quite a lot. You know, why should I bother? I've been coaching for years. I've been mentoring for years. Why do I actually need an accreditation? Or, you know, why should I do that? Well, actually, what this particular program will allow you to do is bring some of that previous learning into the program that you can then evidence, and of course you can then submit as part of your portfolio as well for your accreditation. But what it also provides is that audit of your own practice that maybe you've been doing for many, many years. Do you know, we're all human. We fall into bad habits sometimes. But also what it can provide us is that reassurance that I've been coaching really robustly for a very, very long time. Come and share best practice with the other peers that maybe are on the programme as well, that maybe don't have all of that year's experience under their belt. But one of the other things that, of course, that this program provides is the 4Cs, like I mentioned earlier. Now, this is a powerful tool which actually gives your coachee that different dimension to focus not only the coaches, but the coachee's attention on as well. And of course, in turn, that actually allows and enables that coachee to flourish.
So what would be my return on investment, Sam?
Your return on investment for attending the programme would be, of course, you get your award in the Foundation of Coaching with the EMCC, and of course you would then be associated with the EMCC too. But also you get a distance travelled report from an MTQ perspective. You will complete one report before you actually start the programme and one report 12 weeks after the programme has been completed. And what this will actually provide you is that distance travelled report that actually evidences your development journey. But what else you'll also get is new practice standards that we mentioned before. You have those 8 competencies that the whole programme is woven around from the EMCC competency perspective. But what this will also provide you is elements within that that will reinvigorate your coaching practice going forwards. And you know what? Your previous coaching clients or individuals are going to really feel the difference in just how it is that you actually coach them now.
So Sam, that sounds really fantastic. So what are the next steps for people who are interested?
Yeah, the next steps, you can contact AQR International on www.aqrinternational.co.uk. You can go onto their events page. That will tell you when we have our next event that will be coming up. Or, of course, you can go onto the 123 People Development website as well. That will also do exactly the same thing. So that's www.123peopledevelopment.co.uk. If, though, you like to pick up the phone, because of course everybody's different, then you can just call the number 0161 468 277. And what we can also do as well, if you do send in a request for us, we can also send you out a brochure with the full rundown of everything that's included in the programme, and of course any additional information or any other questions that you may have or that you of course need answering. Really looking forward to speaking with you and, of course, seeing you on the programme. Thanks very much.